Hey, it's your man Doc Love, aka the Breakup Coach, relationship speaker, and relationship education advocate, back with the Why Is This So Challenging podcast. Now, today, as always, I have to first introduce my lovely wife and my wonderful co-host, Miss Lady Love. How are you doing today, Miss Lady Love?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good, doing wonderful, wonderful. Listen, we thank you for all of the comments that you're giving us, going to see our shorts and all of the wonderful comments and just messages that you're giving us, just encouraging us to do more and continue to do this. And that's what we're going to do. So we thank you. Just keep it coming and keep coming back to watch the podcast as well. And like I said before, we're going to build our community. We're working on that now. We want to make sure that our community is something that's special. It's a family that we can help people grow and have the relationships and even the marriages that they desire, so that we can have what we want to have and have it more abundantly, of course. So thank you so much for just participating and sticking with us. And trust me, we're going to keep doing this for you. Now, we're going to get into our topic right now, and I'm going to throw it back to Miss Lady Love and let her introduce it for us.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about giving. And there are two specific areas that we're going to focus on. The first one will be focusing on the dating and relationship aspect. You know, how when people are dating, they have the opportunity or the choice to go 100% into that relationship, giving everything they have, not holding back anything within that relationship. Or they get to choose to hold some things back, maybe as leverage, maybe it's playing a game, kind of like this dating game that some people play. If I hold some things back, then perhaps he would show me more, she would show me more, or whatever ideas of having leverage while you're in a relationship that some people do. And then the second aspect is giving in marriage.
Yes.
So we're going to discuss that topic and really dive right into what giving looks like, what we think giving should look like as it relates to relationship/dating and marriage.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to throw it back at you, Doc Love.
Yes.
What do you think about the aspects of giving?
This is what I think about it. I have to start with a Bible verse, and that Bible verse is God loves a cheerful giver. And I think sometimes we get away from understanding that even in relationship, it's not about what you can get from it, but what you can give to it. And what giving does is it expands you, it increases you. So as you give, more is given unto you. So it's about having that same attitude when it comes to relationship. And I'll give you an example in my personal life. I have to admit that when I was younger, mainly in my 20s, I wasn't fully giving myself to a relationship that I would be in. It's not to say that I was cheating or anything like that. I just wasn't fully participating, where it's like, oh, let me just wait and see how much they do, and then I'll do what I do on my end, or I'll compensate based on that, but not fully just giving myself to that person in the relationship. And this is when we have established that we wanted to be in a relationship. What I found was that was not the best situation for me. And actually, it wasn't the best situation for relationships to give me what I was desiring. And here's what I mean. When I decided that I was going to start basically giving 100% or giving as much of myself and who I am in the relationship from the very beginning, what it did for me was a couple of things. One was it allowed me to see who it was that really was ready to reciprocate and match that and give that back to me. And for me, it allowed me to be able to say, now I'm in a relationship with someone that actually is also actively giving and participating in the relationship as well. What it also showed me is if that person didn't give back to me or could not reciprocate, then it let me know, okay, it may be that this might not be the best person for me to be with, or it may be that this person is just not ready to give or participate in a relationship to this degree. Or maybe it's just that this person is just not feeling me like that. But it allowed me at a much quicker stage in the relationship to really come to a decision of if this is the best relationship for me, because it allowed me to see more clearly at an earlier point in the relationship where we really stand. And what that allowed was me not to have this false belief or this false hope that, oh, the relationship is working out or it's okay, because I really didn't give all to it and that person didn't. And now we're just expanding the timeline, but we're not really getting deep and figuring out if we really want to be with each other. So for me, it just allowed me to be able to understand, is this somebody at the 2 or 3 or 4 month period that I want to keep doing this with because they are reciprocating and giving back to the relationship? Or is this somebody that's not giving back in a way that would be healthy for me to continue? And now my feelings and my emotions and all of that is not so deeply invested in it that I'm like, oh man, I just want to continue this because I put so much into it. I went and put a lot into it, but if it wasn't giving it back to me, then I knew, okay, this is not the right one for me. And I could get out of it before it became too painful.
Right. And what led you to that point of saying, I'm going to do this differently? Like before, you said that you were more guarded and you weren't giving 100% of yourself, but then you made a decision to change the way that you did that. What made you come to that conclusion and then come to the conclusion of how to give more of yourself?
Basically, what led me to that was I found myself being in situationships. Mm-hmm. And I think what people don't realize is situationships happen easily when we don't really give all of what we have in the beginning of the relationship. Mm-hmm. And then we find ourselves in a place where it's like, okay, what are we doing? Where's this going? Mm-hmm. Well, we know I didn't give all of what I had. So it's easy to continue to go down this road, really kind of blindly not knowing where this road is going to end and how it's going to end. Mm-hmm. For me, what it allowed me to do is when I gave myself 100% in the beginning of the relationship, it allowed me to see, okay, was this person going to match that energy? Mm-hmm. And if they weren't, then why would I wait 6 months or a year for them to match it? Right. It allowed me to see, okay, is this person ready? Mm-hmm. Some people might think they're ready for a serious relationship, but they're not ready. And what I found myself in the past was that roller coaster where you are in the relationship and then you take a break and then you come back and then you take another break again. But all of that was because I knew I wasn't fully giving myself to this relationship. When I gave a sizable amount to the relationship, I knew then that, okay, if this person is not giving this back to me, this is not my person. Right. And it allowed me to say, okay, if it's not my person, then why am I going to continue to be in this relationship?
Right. So it helped you to not stay in something longer than
exactly
what you probably shouldn't have stayed in there, because it was more quality over, we're going to stretch this out to 6 months or to however many months. And on the flip end, I, at a very young age in relationships, when I would get into relationships, I would give 100%. Like I would give it all, right, because my whole intention or my whole desire was to have a very deep connected relationship that leads to marriage. I, at a very young age, probably about 15 or 16, had made up in my mind that I wanted to break the generational pattern of toxic relationship.
Yes.
In my family, in my own personal life, I wanted to do the opposite of what I had seen. So that was something that I was like fasting and praying at 15, 16 years old. So in my adulthood, even my young adulthood, when I was in a committed relationship, I was giving 100% without pulling anything back. Right. And of course, that leads to deeper connected relationship. But for some people who weren't ready for a relationship, it led to me running a lot of guys away, you know, who we're just now starting a relationship. And when they see how serious I was about having a deeply connected relationship, that means that now We're talking about transparency. We're talking about kind of unveiling the things that people don't want other people to see. And it makes you feel uncomfortable. And then I'm talking about marriage. So at a young age, a lot of people may like the idea of marriage, but they may not necessarily be ready to get married. So in my first marriage, when I was 19, I really rushed into marriage in the sense that that person wasn't ready. They loved the idea of being married to a faithful, committed woman,
Right.
but they weren't ready to be committed and faithful. And so that led to the breakdown of that marriage. But I just said that to say that whether you start out and not give a lot of yourself in a relationship, or whether you choose to give yourself fully in a relationship, there are challenges that come with both of those things.
Exactly. And the thing about that, and that's what we also want to talk about, because like I said, we're about solutions, is I know some people are saying out there, well, I do give 100%, or I have given 100% and it didn't work out, or I don't have the energy anymore to give 100%, or I'm tired. And the thing is about being tired or not really feeling that way is, in order for you to have the relationship you desire, especially if you want to have a deep, committed relationship or even get to marriage, the thing that's so important in that being accomplished is for you to be able to give all of yourself in the very beginning. Now, the reason why that doesn't happen sometimes is something called fear. Oh, okay, I've tried to do that before and it didn't work out, so now I'm afraid to give myself. So I take a wait and see attitude as far as giving myself. But in a sense, that puts you in a trap, because as I was saying before, you take a wait and see approach, and let's just say the other person is fully participating. Well, they feel like, well, I'm being cheated, I'm being shorted in this relationship because I'm fully giving while somebody else is taking a wait and see approach.
Right.
So it's about understanding that you have to reciprocate. And if you're not ready to reciprocate, then that means there's some work that needs to be done, or as we would say, healing that may need to be done. If you have a fear, or you're going into the relationship basically to survive it, that's another thing that happens a lot is, oh, I just want to get in and just see how long I can hang on to this, or how long I can make this work. No, there should be an attitude and a mind state of thriving in the relationship. I'm entering into this wholeheartedly, fully committed, and with a mind state of believing that this is it and thriving in that, not trying to survive the relationship or trying to be in relationship in fear. As I said before, scared money don't make money, and scared love don't make love. So we have to have an understanding that if we're not in that place of really being able to fully give ourselves, a lot of that is our own fears and our own mentality of just surviving the relationship, instead of making sure that I'm in a healed state, I'm in a ready to go when it comes to relationship state, so that when that person approaches me, or I approach that person, and say, if you're a man, that I'm ready for whatever that relationship is going to entail. I'm ready to go down that road all the way. And that's the attitude and the mentality that we must take on when we are approaching these relationships.
Yes. And I want to point out another thing that I noticed is you have some different relationship experts or some relationship gurus who have different timelines that they tell their audience that they should abide by. I think that can be a trap as well. Like, I remember dating, there was this thing where if a guy was interested in a woman, he didn't call her for 3 days.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, that was the thing.
Yes.
So, like, when you were out and about, you exchange numbers, then the woman, if she really was feeling the guy, she's, like, expecting him to call immediately. You know,
Exactly.
maybe, like, that night or maybe the next day or so. But it's kind of like this game. It's like,
Right.
okay, if you want to come off as not needy, or that you have other options, wait 3 days, and people telling you how to do certain things. And I think the thing about it is that why not just do it organically. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you, if you were really feeling somebody, then why
Yes.
not just call them if you want to?
Exactly. It reminds me of a phrase that's going around, and I so agree with it. If you play silly games, you get silly prizes.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so for me, it's like, if you want to play games
Yeah.
and somebody is playing games with you, you want to participate, then hey, you can do that. But
Yeah.
don't be upset when this is just a lot of game
Right.
instead of a wholesome relationship.
Right.
Like I was saying before, that was my approach when I changed my mind state. Was I didn't wait no 3 days. I didn't wait 2 days. Basically, of course, if you meet someone late in the evening
Right.
or whatever, you wait
You
till
don't
the
wanna
next
call
day.
late. Yeah.
But I mean, my approach is I'm ready. Like I said earlier, being ready. Okay, I met somebody I'm interested in. I'm ready to know who this person is.
Right.
I'm ready to have that conversation. I'm ready for us to find out if we like each other.
Right.
So that's part of the issue as well. If you are that person that's doing that and then you wonder, oh man, I wait 3 days, but I don't know why when I do call them, they're not
They're not
feeling me.
interested, right? Because right, but the same energy that you're playing this game, thinking that it's gonna work out for your benefit, it's the same way that you're missing the opportunity.
Exactly.
Because people can sense your energy. People can sense if you really feeling them or not. And so when your actions are showing you that you're just another option,
Right.
or I'm gonna be cool on this, then their excitement wanes.
Exactly.
And we were talking about this topic, pillow talking about it. And we were talking about how when we were dating and how one thing that you noticed about me is that I was all in.
Right. Exactly.
And it was different.
Yes.
It was something that felt different.
Yes.
Like, expound on that.
Yeah, definitely. Meaning the first time we met, the thing about her was when she and I started talking, it was intentional from the beginning. I felt her intentionality in getting to know me and figuring out, okay, is this a guy I really want to be in a relationship with or not? And to me, as soon as your mind was made up that this was it, it was like somebody had just took a flag and they planted it into the ground. And you know how you have the videos where when somebody plants something, the whole ground just reverberates and stuff like that. And to me, it made everything else small and pushed everything else away, because it was like you were saying, bam, this is where I want to be. This is where I'm planting my flag. And here's where I want things to come from. And I felt that energy of, oh, this is serious. This is real. She is really feeling me, and she really wants to make sure this is something that's solid. On the counter of that, there have been several relationships I've been in where you can tell it's like, okay, well, we'll just see how this goes.
Right.
Or we'll just see what this does. Or some laissez-faire type of attitude like that. And you feel that too.
Oh, yeah.
You feel when someone is like, hey, I'm all in, let's go, yada, yada, yada. And like I said, I want to go back to this because it's so important. Sometimes you don't do that because of fear.
Right.
You don't do that because you're used to surviving a relationship. And surviving a relationship looks like I get in one and then it's not working, and now I step up. Right. Now I start to, oh, no, I really like you. Yeah. Let's do this. But then now you're kind of on your heels because that person is kind of already halfway out of the relationship because they were like, I was trying and you really wasn't giving those cues back to me.
Also kind of reminds me of like when somebody has asked for something over and over and over again, and that person, oh, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. And then when they finally say, you know what? This doesn't work for me.
Exactly.
I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Then now they're trying to prove to you that they feeling you. Now they're trying to prove to you that they can be more thoughtful. They can be more understanding. They can communicate with you better. But it's too late.
Right.
Because at this point, I've already seen the pattern that you can be this way, like pretty consistently.
Right.
Like I don't want your efforts now because you have spent this whole year or two not showing up. So why would I keep on with the same thing?
Right. And the danger of that is this. Now that you are on your heels trying to survive or keep the relationship, Now you're putting that person, if they're not somebody that's a sincere person, in a position to now take advantage of you.
Right.
And take advantage of the situation knowing,
Because now you're trying to prove yourself.
right. And now I can take advantage of the fact that you're trying to prove yourself. And we have to understand that this is a solution that I want people to understand and employ. So I know somebody is probably saying, okay, give of myself, but I've given so much. And so now I really don't have much to give. To me, that's not true and that's not real. Because one thing about us is that God allows us to expand. And really, the more we give, the more that will be given unto us. We just don't believe that. We believe that if I give, then I'm going to run out of giving. But that's not how the universe and God works. No, as you give, more is given unto you. And so as you give more in a relationship, either that more is going to be given back to you, or it's going to be obvious that it can't be given back to you, which is your answer as well. If you see that it's not going to be reciprocated, then you have that answer. So it's understanding that we need to have a spirit of giving so that we understand if that giving is going to be reciprocated. That's so key to understanding that.
Yeah, and on top of it, what you gave to someone else. If you haven't given in every relationship the way you want somebody to give to you, then that's really not fair to that other person, because the relationships that you've been in didn't work out, but you gave 100%. So you say, then how is it fair that you get into this other relationship? This person haven't experienced you. They did no wrong to you. They're just trying to get to know you and see if you that person and you trying to do the same. I feel as if that's why resetting and healing from the hurt or the pain of a relationship ending, grieving that relationship, so to speak, is so important, and not just jumping into something else without clearing yourself of that other person. Because to come into any next relationship without giving the same thing you want them to give, it is cheating another person of actually experiencing the healed you.
Right. And it's and it's cheating you of being able to fully give of yourself to that relationship so you can fully receive from that person.
Right.
Now, I know, and I totally agree with everything that you're saying, because it is so true that we have to make sure that we heal ourselves, because that's the replenishing. That's the getting us back to where we need to be. And you have to put together a system that allows you to heal from whatever relationship wounds you may have encountered once you gave of yourself. But as we were talking about, when you give of yourself fully and that person doesn't reciprocate, a lot of times it doesn't go further enough down the line for there to be many wounds for you to heal from.
Right.
But here's another thing that I want us to understand too, because I know another thing would be like, well, giving might mean giving of my body if I'm a woman, or giving of my money, let's say, if I'm a man. Well, that's another thing that we have to develop, because if I have a lot to give that's outside of, and this is for a woman, outside of my body, meaning I can give my heart, I can give things like something of a nice gesture to the person that I'm dating. I can give my mind in the way that I think or the way that I see things, allowing yourself to build tools and skills that allow you to give a lot more on the front end that goes beyond you having to give up your body, allows that buffer of time, which I talked about before. Time is so very important for you to understand and feel out this person that you're with. So it's about saying, I'm so confident in myself that I don't have to give my body to you. Let me give you my mind. Let me give you a few nice gestures to show that I'm involved and I'm interested and I care and I want to be here. But we're going to take some time before we get there. And that time is going to allow you to see if this person is really for you and into you for you, and not just into you for, let's say, a physical relationship. For men, it's the same way. I understand in this day and time, we want to give of ourselves when it comes to money, because we know that's something that is readily accepted. Or let me take you out on this fancy day, or let me take you somewhere really nice. So that way, oh, she's going to like me. She's going to really be interested in me. But like I said, true interest is her really showing that she wants to get to know you. So developing the skills of, I have a lot to give as far as my mind is concerned, and I have a lot to give as far as my heart. And I do a lot of nice gestures. That's not necessarily giving of my money, but giving of me and allowing me to be able to say, I want you to get to know me, and I'm going to give these things of me, so that now you can understand and see it's not just about somebody breaking you off or whatever. If you really want to get to know me, take the time to get to know me.
And so the other aspect of it is in marriage as well.
Yes.
In this particular case, you woke up and you were on one about the giving aspect in marriage. And what was the point that you were making in that?
It's like, what happens in marriages is you might have a situation where when we're together and I've tried to do things or give of myself, and maybe it was not readily accepted, or it was pushed to the side, it wasn't just fully accepted, then that person starts to feel like, okay, I'm trying to give, but I'm not getting that back. So now they give less, and that giving less, or that pulling back, starts to feel some kind of way in the relationship. And before you know it, that person is drifting away from that marriage and getting to a point where now they're giving less of themselves in the marriage. It's the same thing. When you fully give of yourself in that marriage, then you're going to get that back. It's expansion. It's about when you give, things expand. And now either that expansion is going to have that person give back to you, or it's going to show you that maybe this person just doesn't want to reciprocate in this marriage like you're doing. So now you have to have some deep and profound conversations, or maybe some counseling, to figure out, why is this happening? Now, let me say this. It's easy for us to say, oh, I want somebody to give financially or something like that. I'm talking about really give of yourself when it comes to the inner traits that you have, not necessarily, oh, well, this person is not making enough money or giving enough money to the relationship, or maybe if it's a man, well, she's not giving enough of herself to me in a physical way, but really giving of yourself that's going to expand the relationship as far as your inner traits, giving of your heart and your mind, giving of your spirit, giving of that mental, emotional self of yours to help you all expand and deepen your relationship.
Yeah, and as a solution base, I remember us talking about this, and I'm saying that it is very natural for a person, for instance, in a marriage or in a relationship, because a marriage is a relationship, that if, let's say, for instance, there's a situation in a marriage where one of the partners is feeling as if this person isn't attending to the other person's feelings, or they're dismissive, they don't hear that person out, or they disregard how they feel, or they try to make them feel like they're wrong for feeling the way that they feel. Or, for instance, in a relationship and marriage, you have certain responsibilities. Let's just say we're taking care of children or taking care of responsibilities. And if that person feels like the other person isn't helping, over time, if those issues aren't being dealt with, then it is very natural and common for a person to pull back and not give. And then that's the thing, when you start generalizing, every time I come to you, you disregard me. Every time I try to give advice, you disregard it. Every time. So whenever you have that and you don't really talk about the issues, you just sweep them up under the rug or whatever, those things can snowball into bigger issues, because that's how you can find 5 years down the line, you don't like each other.
Right.
You don't speak fondly of your mate. You don't speak fondly of what they bring to the table in the relationship, because over time you have pulled back and they have pulled back. Because one thing about human behavior is a person is going to keep on giving of themselves when they feel like another person isn't giving of their self. That is a very normal reaction to pull back. And so, like you were saying, going to some type of therapy or counseling, or sitting down and getting honest with each other and really uncovering the issues that you have will help you to dissolve some of those issues that you have, so that you can start feeling safe and comfortable and loving enough in your relationship to say, I hear you and you hear me, and we can resolve our issues. So then now I can give more of myself, and that other person can give more of themselves.
Exactly. And the way I see it is, like you were saying, we don't want to give when we feel like our giving is not being reciprocated.
Right.
And so that makes us contract. And it's the same thing, though, when you give in abundance, then it puts that person in a position to want to give in abundance as well. So now it expands the relationship. And that's why giving in that marriage is so important. To me, it's like, if I'm giving my all in it and I know that I'm doing all that I can, then I know my partner is going to do everything that they can too. And so that's why, like you said, it's so important that if you know you're in this marriage and I'm not able to give like I want to, what is preventing that? What's going on that's making me compelled not to give to the person that I said that I love, and I went to the altar and said, hey, I want to live the rest of my life with you. So like you said, it's so important for us to do that evaluation and know that this is something that I need to really be giving my all to, and feeling 100% about giving to that. And if something is holding me back from doing that, what is that? So we can address that. Communication is so important. Just being able to talk about that and figure that out. We understand, like you said, microaggressions do lead to wounds and things of that nature, but sometimes being able to just have a conversation or take it to God in prayer and say, okay, God, this is something that is happening that I feel needs to be addressed. Give us the knowledge or the way to be able to address this so that it's healthy for both of us to sit down and address it, whether that's talking it out or whether that's having some type of therapy or having someone to intercede on our behalf.
Because the answer's there.
Yes.
The same way that fear is the reason why most people in relationships, in a dating situation, hold back. It's the same reason a lot of times with marriage. Fear of rejection.
Yes.
Fear of your partner not being there for you.
Yes.
Fear and disappointment leads to resentment.
Yes.
And after a while, when you're in a marriage and it's not so easy to get out of a marriage,
Yes.
if you stay there, you have a lot of resentment. And so you can come from that, but you would definitely need to be very honest with each other.
Yes.
And not in an accusatory way, because there are no winners when a relationship, specifically in a marriage, dissolves and you weren't able to kind of get through it.
Exactly.
So being able to talk it through and or get assistance, which is totally advisable,
Right. Exactly.
is really the best way to shift your marriage into becoming the type of marriage that you want to be a part of, because we're just living life, right?
Exactly.
And whether we're with a partner or whether we live with ourselves, we want to have peace and we want to have a level of knowing that we're growing and we're expanding as a human being. And so we can do that whether we're single, we can do it whether we're in a relationship.
Yes.
But beautiful things can come out of being able to do that in a relationship, because you have a partner who is supporting you on your journey and you're supporting them on their journey.
Exactly. Exactly. And like you said, the main thing is just inner peace. Everybody should strive to have their version of inner peace, getting to a place where you could say, I'm at peace with myself.
Yeah.
Like you said, self-discovery, self-care, understanding that once you get there, then now that inner peace allows you to seek a relationship or a marriage that's going to give its fullness to you. And as you do that, you are expanding that. You're allowing for there to be more to come out of that, because that's how God is going to bless it. He understands that the more that you're giving into this, the more that you're putting into this, the more has to come from it. And it expands you. But it starts with you being at peace with yourself first. And so that way you can have that peacefulness in your home or in your approach to expanding and growing your relationship and your marriages. So that is so important, so very important.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So we like to thank you again for joining us for another wonderful episode. Hopefully you learned a lot from this. I really believe that we need to think about giving in our relationships and giving of ourselves, giving of our inner spirit, our emotions, our thoughts, and just giving those inner traits that we have. So we have to just go back to being those giving people and understand that my giving is going to allow me to be able to figure out really quickly who's willing to give back to me what I'm giving. And so that's very important. And also in a marriage, just giving my all in that marriage and expecting to receive that in return. And thus, if that's not happening, let's figure out how we can get this thing back on track, especially from an emotional, mental, and spiritual aspect. I believe in other ways it can be worked out physically, financially, and all of that, but really from those standpoints, because that's going to be what's most enduring. So we just like to thank you again for joining us for another episode. I am Doc Love. This is my lovely wife and co-host, Lady Love. And this is the Why Is This So Challenging podcast. And as we always say, live and love fearlessly. We are out of here. Peace.
Peace.